I've checked into a lot of expensive hotels in my time, but there is exactly one on Earth that the whole world insists on calling a 7-star hotel. And here is the strange part. That rating does not exist. There is no 7th star. No official body on the planet awards one. And yet, for more than 25 years, every guidebook, every travel show, every wide-eyed tourist has pointed at the same gleaming white sail rising out of the Persian Gulf and said the same thing. 7 stars. So today, let me take you inside the Burj Al Arab in Dubai, and let me show you exactly how a building convinced the entire world it had broken a scale that only goes up to 5. Because the truth behind that 7th star is far better than the myth. Let me explain. Officially, the Burj Al Arab is a 5-star hotel. That is its real rating. The Forbes travel guide gives it 5 stars, its highest possible score. Dubai's own Department of Economy and Tourism gives it 5 stars, also the maximum. There is no rating above that anywhere in the world because there is no international body that hands out a 6th or a 7th star. So where did it come from? It came from a single sentence. When the hotel opened in 1999, a British journalist was invited on a press tour before the doors opened to the public. She walked through it, and she was so overwhelmed by what she saw that she reached for the only words big enough. She called it a 7-star hotel, and that phrase escaped into the world and never came back. The hotel itself has never used it. A Jumeirah spokesperson once admitted, "There's not a lot we can do to stop it. We've never used it in our advertising." Think about that. The most famous marketing line in luxury hospitality is one the company never wrote and has spent 25 years politely trying to disown. And once you step inside, you understand exactly why she said it. So let me start where the hotel starts, not with the gold, with the impossible. The Burj Al Arab does not sit on the beach. It sits on its own private island, 280 meters out into the sea, connected to the mainland by a single curving bridge. That island did not exist before they built it. The engineers reclaimed it from the Persian Gulf, and it took them 3 full years just to make the ground before a single floor went up. To anchor a tower on that much sand and salt water, they drove 230 concrete piles 40 meters down into the seabed, and they wrapped the base in a honeycomb of concrete and giant rocks to stop the ocean from clawing it back. The finished structure holds over 70,000 cubic meters of concrete and 9,000 tons of steel. They built the seafloor, and then they built a legend on top of it. And the shape, that is the genius. The architect was a British designer named Tom Wright, and he wanted a silhouette so simple that a child could draw it and everyone on Earth would know the city it belonged to. He gave it the shape of a billowing sail, the sail of a dhow, the traditional Arabian boat that carried pearls and traders across these exact waters for centuries. He stretched a translucent white screen across the front, a woven fiberglass skin, and during the day it shields the rooms from the brutal desert sun. At night it becomes a movie screen, and they paint it in shifting color, gold, green, the red, white and green of the Emirati flag. The result stands 321 meters tall, 1,053 feet. When it opened, it was the tallest hotel in the world. Now let me take you across that bridge and through the doors. Because if the outside is restraint, the inside is the exact opposite. The first thing that hits you is the atrium. It is a vast open shaft of color that runs straight up through the center of the building, and at 180 meters tall, it is one of the tallest hotel atriums on the planet. You could stand the Statue of Liberty inside it, plinth and all, and still have room to spare. And it is drenched, and I mean drenched, in gold. The interiors were led by a celebrated designer named Quan Chu, and her team applied around 1,790 square meters of 24-karat gold leaf across the surfaces of this hotel. That is roughly the footprint of 2.5 NBA basketball courts. Hand-laid in real gold, on the walls, the columns, the railings, the ceilings. And the gold is just the beginning. They fixed 86,500 Swarovski crystals into the mirrors and the fittings. Every surface is built to catch the light and throw it back at you. This is not subtle. It was never trying to be subtle. It was trying to make a journalist run out of stars, and it worked. So who actually stays here, and what does it feel like to be a guest? Let me show you, because this is where it stops being a building and starts being a fantasy. There are no standard rooms in the Burj Al Arab, none. The hotel has 202 rooms, and every single one is a suite, and not a small one. The entry-level suite spans 169 square meters, 1,820 square feet. That is larger than the average American family home, and it is the smallest thing they offer. Each suite runs across 2 floors, with a sweeping staircase inside your own room. And here is the number that I love. Each suite is assigned around 8 dedicated staff, and you get a 24-hour personal butler who answers the moment you call. When you arrive, you are not driven in a taxi. The hotel sends a chauffeur in a fleet of Rolls-Royces, or, if you would prefer, a helicopter, which lands you on the roof. More on that roof in a moment. You are escorted through a private entrance. Your butler already knows your name. And then there is the top of the building, the Royal Suite. This is the headline. It is 780 square meters of space across the upper floors, 8,400 square feet, and it has been listed at around $24,000 per night. $24,000 for one night. For that, you get a marble and gold living space, a private cinema, a rotating canopy bed, your own library and dining rooms, and a staff that never sleeps. To put that in perspective, $24,000 a night is more than the median American worker earns in 5 months of full-time work, spent on a single evening's sleep. And people book it. People book it months in advance. Now let me take you to eat, because even the restaurants here refuse to behave like restaurants. Near the very top of the building, 200 meters above the Gulf, sits a restaurant called Al Muntaha, which means the ultimate. It is held up by a single cantilever that juts 27 meters out from the central mast, so you are essentially dining on a shelf bolted to the sky with the entire coastline of Dubai laid out beneath your plate. And then, for the complete opposite, there is Al Mahara, which means the oyster. You do not just walk in. You board what looks like a small submarine for a simulated 3-minute voyage to the seabed, and then the doors open onto a restaurant wrapped around a colossal seawater aquarium. That tank holds nearly 990,000 liters of water. The acrylic wall holding back that ocean is 18 centimeters thick, because it has to be. You eat your dinner while sharks and rays drift past your shoulder. But the single most famous spot in this entire hotel is not a suite, and it is not a restaurant, it is a helipad. And it has done things no other helipad on Earth has ever done. It sits on the 28th floor, 210 meters up, 689 feet above the waves, a circle of concrete cantilevered off the side of the tower. And the hotel realized very early that this little circle was the greatest stage in marketing history. In 2004, they invited Tiger Woods up there, and he teed off, driving golf balls from the roof out into the open ocean. Reportedly paid $1 million to do it. Then in 2005, they laid down a green carpet and turned it into a tennis court, and Roger Federer and Andre Agassi, 2 of the greatest to ever hold a racket, rallied a friendly match in the sky to promote the Dubai Tennis Championships. It set a Guinness World Record for the highest tennis court on Earth, a record that still stands today. Since then, the helipad has hosted boxers, race cars, and record-breaking stunts. One little circle of concrete, generating headlines for 2 decades. That is not an accident. That is the whole strategy of this hotel distilled. Because here is the thing I want to leave you with. The Burj Al Arab was never really just a hotel. The whole thing, the man-made island, the sail, the gold, the helipad, all of it, was built to do one job: to put Dubai on the map of the world. In 1999, most people could not have found Dubai on a globe. Today, it is a byword for luxury, and a huge part of that is because of one unmistakable silhouette that you can recognize from a single line drawing. The reported price tag for building it was around $1 billion. And as a piece of branding for an entire city, it might be the single best $1 billion anyone has ever spent. So is it a 7-star hotel? No. Officially, honestly, it is a 5-star hotel, the same as the best hotels in Paris and New York and Tokyo. There is no 7th star. There never was. But that, to me, is the most luxurious thing about it. The Burj Al Arab is so far beyond what we thought 5 stars could mean that the entire world quietly invented a new number, just so it would have somewhere to put it. You cannot buy a rating that doesn't exist. but you can build something so audacious that people feel compelled to make one up for you. And 25 years later, they still are. If you enjoyed this tour through the world's only so-called 7-star hotel, you know what to do. Stick around, because the next place I am taking you is even more extraordinary.